Hey everyone, George here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about cleanup fish, in other words fish that are beneficial for your tank to keep it clean, and this is an essential part of keeping an aquarium that is healthy. And I'm going to talk to you today about 3 fish and an invertebrate that are going to be very, very helpful for your tank. Now, before we get into this, I want to thank every one of you who have subscribed to the channel. The channel is growing and we're doing great. Please take a second to give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below and I will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Now let's get back to our topic here today. The 3 fish that I'm talking about and the 1 invertebrate. The number 1 fish that I think is essential is not a South American fish, which I keep South American tanks and I like to try to keep them true to South America. But this is an outlier that I think every tank should have that's freshwater, and that is the Siamese algae eater. The Siamese algae eater is a fish that absolutely does an amazing job of keeping algae clear of plants and rocks and parts of your aquarium that don't get cleaned very often from other cleanup crew type fish. These are essential fish, I think, for keeping your plants looking great and also making sure that waste on the bottom of your tank is kept in check as well. Now, Siamese algae eaters, again, like I said, they're not South American fish. They are from Thailand, in that region. But you want to be careful when you're getting these, especially at big box stores, because a lot of times they're going to try to sell you a Chinese algae eater, which is a very different fish, or a flying fox, which looks amazingly like a Siamese algae eater, but is nothing like that. You don't want a flying fox in your tank. They're very disruptive and they're not really good algae eaters at all. So be careful that you know what you're buying. If you're buying from a mom and pop shop, they're usually going to be better at knowing what these fish are. They're not going to try to sell you something that isn't correct on that. But again, the Siamese algae eater, I think, is the number 1 fish for keeping your aquarium free of pesky algae, especially that diatom algae, which is the brown stuff that gets on most of your plants, your rocks, your wood, and things like that. Now, the second fish here, again, beautiful fish, comes in varieties. I don't even know how many varieties of this fish, which is the pleco. And I don't know how many varieties of plecos are out there, but what you're looking for in a pleco is one that is a bristlenose pleco. These are algae eaters that you want in your tank. Now, the problem sometimes can be that if you have a smaller tank, they're going to outgrow that tank, but they're ravenous eaters of algae. They keep wood clean especially. They're known for living on wood and using this big suction mouth that they have to go around and clean things off really, really well. They'll clean off leaves, they'll clean off rocks and surface areas that places that you can't even see in your tank typically. And these are not a fish that you're going to see a lot. They're very shy. I noticed that as you keep them, they do come out a little bit more during the day, but they're a shy fish, so you're not going to see them very often. Like I said, bristlenose, you can get a normal bristlenose, you can get albino bristlenose that are small and remain small, but keep in mind that these fish are going to get big over time, so you're going to have to rotate them out of your tank and rehome them, or move them into a bigger tank if you have multiple tanks like I have, and you can keep that cycle going. But they are slow growers. They don't grow really fast, so they should stay in your tank for quite a long time before you have to move them, especially if you're talking about 65 to 120 gallons. These are great fish. And again, bristlenose is what you're looking for. You can get the male or the female, it does not matter. as long as you are getting what they call a bristlenose pleco. So let's go on to the third fish that I think is an absolutely fun fish because of the way that they play around in your tank. They're really cool fish. Even if they weren't cleanup fish, they would be really cool to have in your tank, and that is the Corydora, otherwise known as the Cory catfish. And these guys are essential for one reason. There's a lot of food that gets in the bottom of your tank, and you don't always get a chance to get into places. Some of your bigger fish aren't going to get into places and clean that up. Tetras and other dithering fish are not good at going around and picking food off the bottom of your tank. These little guys are essential because they can get into places between rocks and wood and all of your scape in your tank and get every single morsel. These guys, again, they're not truly nocturnal fish, but you will see them mostly at night come out. But as they are more familiar with the tank, you will see them out during the day as well. But these come in so many different varieties. I know there's at least 70 known, and probably more by now. The last time I checked was a few years ago. But there's at least 70 known varieties. There is the Julie Cory, there is the Sorbet Cory, we've got the salt and pepper, we've got pygmies. Pygmies are great for small tanks because they don't grow very big. They're less than like an inch in size at full growth, and these are great for nano tanks. You want to get these fish in a group of a 7 to 10 or even more than that if you can get them. They're not real expensive fish. They've gotten a little bit more expensive lately, as has everything else in this particular hobby. But you want to get them in a group that's large enough because they're very social and they don't do well just in getting them in a group of 2 or 3. Now, one of my favorites is the panda Cory, but pandas can be a little bit more sensitive to water parameters such as pH and water hardness and so forth. I don't know why they're a little bit more sensitive, but I have not had real success with them long term. They seem to do well for a while, and then either they don't live very long. That's something you might want to check before you go out and buy Corydoras. Check on the kind of Julie Cory or Sorbet Cory or salt and pepper or pygmy, or there's just so many. There's jade Corys. They come in every color, every size that you can think of. I mean, from small to large, and they are a true South American fish, and I think that they'll be fantastic in any tank. Now, the last thing I want to talk about as far as cleanup crew in your tank is Nerite snails. Now, these are somewhat problematic, and well, I'm going to actually talk about one more beyond that too, but they're somewhat problematic because they're good cleaners. They're slow movers, obviously, but they're good for keeping glass clean, rocks, and so forth. That diatom algae that you see all over your tank. If you're running a good tank that's been up for a while, you're not going to see that kind of algae growth. But for newer tanks and stuff like that, the Nerites are good. Now, they are particularly sensitive sometimes to the types of water that you've got going on as far as pH and water hardness and that kind of thing. And they are a brackish fish breeder. So in other words, they will not breed in your tank. They will lay eggs all over your tank, and this is one of the problems that I have with this particular snail, or snails in general, is that they do lay eggs in your tank, and they're very, very difficult to get off from glass, wood, and places like that. They can be very disruptive, and they can really disfigure your tank. And I'll leave a picture of I'm going to leave a picture of all of these fish with this video. But in particular, I want to show you what this snail can do. Now, they're great as far as keeping things clean, but like I said, the drawback with this guy is that they can create problems with leaving eggs around that are very hard to get off. I mean, they are solid. When they glue themselves to something, they really glue them on hard. Now, the last I want to talk about are shrimp, because shrimp are absolutely wonderful cleaners of tanks. You got to be careful about the types of shrimp that you get. You get them too small, they're going to become somebody's lunch in your tank. I keep a lot of discus fish, angelfish, and those kinds of things in the 40 different tanks that I have in my fish room. And I have found that you got to be really careful with shrimp. Get the larger ghost shrimp or something like that that are going to do the job for your tank and keeping it clean. They'll go around and you'll see them constantly picking at stuff and getting little things that other things won't, other fish and invertebrates will not get in your tank. So that's my top 4, and I threw the bonus in there with the shrimp. But thank you for joining me today. I hope this is helpful to you and very informational. And if you have any questions, leave them down below, like I said, in the comment section, and I will get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great holiday season. I don't know if I'll get another video out before the holidays, but Merry Christmas to you folks out there, and Happy Holidays. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, take care. See you soon.